Hi guys! So we're going to start off by doing my edges, and the products that I use for my edges I will leave below in the description box. So we're going to start off with the Curls Blueberry Bliss Control Paste. This is a really good product for my natural curly girls, so whenever you have a protective style or you're wearing your hair all natural, this is a really good edge control to use. However, it does melt away really quickly when it is hot outside, so I like to use it with another edge control, which is why you see me using the Style Factor Edge Booster as well. So to do my edges, I like to use this comb and brush duo that I actually got from the beauty supply store. You can find this at any beauty supply store really. I used to use a toothbrush. I still use a toothbrush here and there, but I like using the comb and brush duo better because I like the preciseness of the comb. So my process for doing my edges is really simple and self-explanatory. I just carve out my edges any way that they want to go for that day. To be honest, I don't really do it in any particular form or fashion. I just do it the quickest way possible because, as you can see, it kind of takes me a while to get it the way that I like it. I don't necessarily always get it perfect, but I have to make several attempts to get it just to look decent. So I just do it however I want to do it, and then I wrap it up and I just start to set it. Alright, so my next step is taking my glasses off and putting in my contacts. This process is also very simple and self-explanatory. Gotta wash your hands, make sure they're clean. I made sure to include this footage because I didn't want anybody thinking, oh, where her hands been? She ain't washed her hands before she put her contacts on. Like, yes, I did. And there's proof. So, as you can see, I'm just putting them in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so moving on to makeup, I like to make sure I clean off my face with a wipe before I start my makeup process because I have oily skin, so I don't want my skin to be oily or dirty before I apply my primer or foundation, so I just make sure to do that step first. It's not mandatory that you do that, but I just like to do it because, like I said, I have oily skin. So as you can see, I'm applying my primer. I use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer. This is a really good primer, and it pairs really well with the Pro Filt'r foundation. So this next step, y'all, is really crucial. As you can see on my finger, that is Vaseline. Make sure at some point before you put on any lip product, you moisturize your lips because you do not want to apply any lip product to chapped lips. So at this point, I'm applying my foundation. I use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. I believe I'm in the shade 320, but I'm not sure. I will double check and put that in the description box. Ladies, this is a major key when applying your foundation. Make sure you get your neck, underneath your chin, behind your ears, anywhere that it could be visible that you are two different skin tones. Make sure you hit that area with foundation. I will now be transitioning into brows. So with my brows, I typically go for a gradient effect, but I do not always do a dramatic eyebrow look. I used to do the dramatic brows all the time, but trust and believe me, there is a time and a place for everything. So when I'm doing my brows, if I'm not doing a super dramatic makeup look like today, a natural neutral beat, make sure your eyebrows match that. So I'm gonna still do the gradient effect, but do it lightly where it's not too bold. So typically what I do to achieve that gradient effect, I will start off light in the front and go darker towards the end. So make sure that you are being light-handed in the front and heavier-handed towards the end, but also at the same time be heavier-handed with the spoolie and combing out the front and lighter-handed towards the end. That way you won't lose too much product. I like to use 2 different pencils to fill in my brows, not for any particular reason other than the fact that one color is darker than the other. So I use the darker one toward the tail end of my brow and the lighter one on my whole entire brow. Now to conceal my brows, I also like to use 2 different concealers, and for the same exact reason, because one of the colors is lighter than the other. So for underneath my brows, I underline with the lighter concealer, and for the top of my brows, I use a concealer that's closer to my skin tone to match the foundation better. Now, I like to use the lighter concealer underneath my brow because it acts as a highlight for my brow bone, and also in using the lighter color, it helps with better definition and makes it look more crisp and well put together. I had to do a quick outfit change here because I realized that I was putting on basically my entire face without changing my shirt first, and I hate putting on a shirt with a full face of makeup, so that's why you see me go from looking like a bum to my regular clothes. So you saw me just define my brows further by using the concealer on the top, so now I'm just going to blend that out with a blending brush by e.l.f. Now I'm going back in to further define underneath my brow because I love for my edges of my brow to be sharp. So I always make sure that when I'm finished, I go and make the final cut and doing another layer of the lighter concealer underneath. So now that I'm completely satisfied with my brows, I'm going to go into my Airspun Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to set the concealer above and below my eyebrow. Next, I'm making sure to set my brow hairs in place using the Maybelline Brow Drama by EyeStudio Brow Gel. I believe it's in the color dark brown or deep brown. I'll leave it in the description box if I got it wrong. After that, it's time to make sure your edges are set. So you see me untying my scarf and checking my edges and make sure they're not flaking or anything like that. But as you can see, I was not completely satisfied with my edges. But for now, I'm going to put that on pause and just make sure to finish blending the rest of my face. So as you can see from the scarf, that line of demarcation where I have foundation and where it's blank skin. And the only reason you can really tell is because I got a tan over spring break. So don't judge me too harshly. So now after that's done, I'm going to go into my Matchstix Trio in the color Caramel for my concealer. For my contour, I'm going to use the color Truffle. And for my primer for my highlight, I'm going to use the color Rum. Now, before y'all say anything, I already know I'm missing a nail, but I didn't have time to put it back on before I filmed this video. But just rest assured that I glued it on right after I filmed this. Now before I contour, I like to start my baking process, so I go ahead and start to set my concealer with the airspun powder and just let it sit while I contour my face. Alright, so now I'm about to start contouring. This process is pretty much self-explanatory. I'm just hitting the points that I want contoured or sharpened or defined better. So I'm going to be doing my cheekbones, the sides of my nose, the tip of my nose, the corners of my forehead, and underneath my chin and jawbone area. So now that I'm done contouring, I should be done baking. So I'm just gonna take a brush and dust away that excess powder. After that's done, I like to make sure everything is nice and set and blended. So I'll take a bigger brush with some powder and go over the areas where I contoured. And then after that, I'll make sure that I go in with more powder and go over everywhere on my face to make sure everything is blended seamlessly. So after letting my edges sit for a while with product, I went back in and just smoothed it out and defined my edges better. It probably doesn't look like it is at this point, but I promise you in the end they turn out right. So after the makeup journey, we move on to hair. I'm going to be doing a half up, half down style with the bun at the top. So this is pretty much self-explanatory. I just take the pieces from the front, go ahead and wrap it in a hair tie, do a little half up, half down ponytail, and then I'll wrap the rest of the braids around the ponytail. After the bun is created, I just like to go in and make sure it's extra secure. So I grab another hair tie and wrap it around and just adjust it to my liking. Now after all that's done, I like to start my highlighting process. As you can see, I'm going in with the rum that I told you about earlier. I'm blending that out with my finger. If I don't feel it's blended out enough at that point, I'll go in with my beauty blender and just blend it out some more. So now I'm going into my blush. This is also a highlighter, but I like to use it as blush as well. And I also top it with another blush after this. This is the Killawatt highlighter in the color Ginger Binge Moscow Mule by Fenty Beauty. And the other blush I will be using is the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the color Wine. Okay, girl, now it's time to highlight. We're going in with the Diamond Bomb highlighter by Fenty Beauty. And how many carats? Girl, I love this highlighter, but I love Trophy Wife as well. So I always end up torn between the two, and I just always end up layering them. So that's what I'm going to do. Yes, sis, that highlights. You already know. So now I'm going into eyeliner. This is actually a waterproof lip liner by NYX. It's in the color Nude. I have recently transitioned from black eyeliner to nude eyeliners. I don't know why, but I just love the look of a nude eyeliner and the mascara on top of that because it just makes your eyelashes pop. So this is the Snapscara by Maybelline. It's a fairly new mascara, and this was my first time trying it, and honey child, I love it. Like, just look at the applicator. Like, it probably doesn't look like it's doing anything for my lashes because I barely have lashes, but trust me, girl, it is getting them lashes and pulling them out, honey. But being that I don't have a lot of lashes, I like to go in with more than one mascara, so I'm also going to be using the Loreal Voluminous mascara as well. So now finally we are going into lips. So I'm going to be using the lip liner Cork by MAC. This is one of my favorite brown lip liners ever. It's just the perfect brown. I used to be really into chestnut. I still like it, but using Cork just makes me feel like it's too harsh now. I don't know. I'm just super into the nude neutral look these days. After I line my lips, I like to make sure I go in with my finger and blend it out a little bit more just so that the gradient is seamless. Then after that, I apply my lipstick. This is Unbuttoned by Fenty Beauty. It is a stunner lip paint, and girl, I love it. I love nudes. I already stressed this enough in this video. It is just, Rihanna is just coming with it. Like, girl, I'm about to be all Fenty Beauty everything. After that, I'm just gonna go in with the NYX Butter Gloss and Peanut Brittle because I was into the glossy look for tonight. I love my mattes, but I love my gloss. I was just I've been doing matte a lot lately. Let me go with the gloss. So that's what I did. And you see the final result is just popping, honey. I would not have done it any different. Just look at it. Ooh, yes. Ooh, hey, turn up. Whoa. So boom, once everything is all flawless and looking right, just take your setting spray. Mine is Urban Decay De-Slick. It is perfect. I love it. My makeup stays all day, all night. So yes, now that you're all done and all cute, it's time for the Feeling Myself dance. But one more step, check your teeth after applying that lipstick, child. So yes, this is my get ready with me video for how you go from musty and crusty to Instagram baddie, honey. Yes. And yes, that is it for this get ready with me video. I hope that you guys loved it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from your favorite mermaid princess. Love you guys. Bye.